What's up, guys? I'm your host John from whining, and tonight we talk about 5 places where it's illegal to own ball pythons. Number 5 on my list of places to avoid moving to if you own ball pythons is Spain. If you decide to visit Barcelona, Spain, or anywhere else in Spain, and you decide that you want to move there, and you own ball pythons, well then don't, because they do not allow ball pythons whatsoever. Now, the country can be a great place to vacation, but I really wouldn't recommend living there if you own ball pythons. Number 4 on my list of places to avoid moving to if you own ball pythons is Australia. You're only allowed to own species that are native to the island and continent of Australia. Number 3 on my list of places to avoid if you own ball pythons is Hawaii. If you're planning on moving to Hawaii because it's so tropical and wonderful and just a place where you can vacation or retire all year round, then owning ball pythons there is not going to be an option. In fact, it's a very serious crime to own ball pythons there because the species is not native to the islands. If you're thinking about moving to California, number 2 on my list of places to avoid moving to if you own ball pythons is San Francisco. San Francisco does not allow any sort of ball pythons in the city. Now, if you move anywhere else inside of California, you're totally fine, but San Francisco, although such a beautiful place to be and vacation, is not an ideal place to live if you plan on owning ball pythons. And number 1 on my list of places to avoid moving if you own ball pythons is inside of New York. If you live in Bronx, if you live in Queens, Staten Island, or Manhattan, you are not allowed to own ball pythons. Now, you can own ball pythons in just about anywhere else in the state, but in those cities and those areas, you're not allowed to own them whatsoever. Bonus. Now, this wasn't on my top 5 list of places to avoid if you own ball pythons, but if you live in Council Bluffs, Iowa, you are not allowed to own ball pythons. Now, this is a city that is about 3.5 hours away from where I grew up in Iowa City, Iowa. But if you are living in Iowa and plan to move to Council Bluffs for whatever reason, I would not suggest living there anyways, but do not go or live in Council Bluffs, Iowa if you own ball pythons. If you like this video, please comment, like, and subscribe.